I'm in the sunroom this morning. I'm going to plant some stuff. This is just a few seeds. I got a ton of seeds on the back porch. But I'm trying to get more organic. I don't know. I don't think this one is, but this one says organic. And 100% organic. Not all of them's organic, but I'm trying to go that way. There's a non-GMO mustard, red giant, kale. And then I got Silver Queen. It don't do real good here, but I'm going to try it again. Silver Queen corn. And Brussels sprout and some summer squash. So I'm going to plant them in these pots. A few of them in there, and every week I'm going to plant more and more. And just kind of rotate it more and more. I bought this yesterday at the store. It's a celebrity. And this was the only one I found that was double. So I always tried to look for double and separate them. And I finally found one. I don't like celebrity be hybrid. But what I do, in the fall, I'll cut it and make different plants for next year and keep it going that way. My beans on watch. But anyway, this is my first doing it. And they want to go underneath the house so bad. But, hi Bill. But anyway, I'm going to get started planting these and checking out my other seeds. I'm glad to get started. Here's two different kinds of zucchinis I'm planting. One is the Black Star, and this one is called Black Beauty. And I'm going to grow and grow and grow tons of these if I can. For one thing, the horses love them. And we love feeding zucchinis to the horses for a treat. We'll get a big old armful and throw them over the fence, and the horses come running, and the zucchinis bust all over the place, and it's just like they're just in hog heaven eating zucchini. We'll eat it, but they just love it. So I want to grow lots of it. I've been trying pretty hard to save seeds, and I do got lots of seeds, but the main problem I've been having is the squash, the zucchini and the yellow squash. Every time I save a seed from them, they're just flat as a pancake, like a feather. So I think they're doing something to the seeds. I bought organic seeds this time, so I'm going to try it, because I sure like to save seeds from these plants. And I just hadn't had no luck because they're just flat. They don't have no life to them. Anyway, I gotta plant some more. I have an onion basket in the house, and I found these two in it. And I'm going to go ahead and plant them in a pot right now until I can get them out to the food forest. But it'd be nice if they would grow me some seed off of these two. I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and pot them. This is a China berry tree. I grew it from seed. And they smell good in the spring. But they drop a lot of their China berries. I guess they're little nuts. But I still like them. They smell real good. The bees love them. I might put it out there in the food forest. And in the spring it'll smell so good. It's really doing good. I can't wait to get it outside. Here's an update on my hops. It's doing pretty good for a little tiny stick. There's the stick. And then this looks like Malabar spinach coming up. I didn't plant it. Well, anyway, it's living. So time frost is over with, maybe it'll be big enough to get on out there. I'm glad it lived. I brought these 2 onions out here so they can be with the other onions. I don't have to worry about anything messing with them like birds. But the reason I want plant stands like that swing set, I want something I can net it and cover them up, because the birds are hard on the garden. They're hard on my seedlings, and when I bring the seedlings out, they have at it. They've been working on this plant, and it's birds doing it. About got chewed up. Now they're working on this one because they want greens. This is the desert, and they want something green, so I have to watch it. They have ate on some of them over there. Really gnawed them down to hardly nothing. But that's how it is in the desert. Everything eats everything. I've got my green beans planted, and I'll be planting more and more later. Green beans, the birds and mice love to eat them out there in the food forest. So if I can get about 3 or 4 leaves on these, I harden them up, and then they'll leave them alone. We're thinking about putting more netting out there and doing some seed in the garden, but this is usually how I do it right through here. I get them up and then move them out there, because the birds love tender plants and they'll eat them up. Sometimes I'll have okra this big, next day they're gone, because mice move in, squirrels move in, the birds hit it. All kinds of birds too, big birds. They like their greens. So we're thinking about getting them up and then net them and see if we can keep the birds out of them until they get bigger. Once big, they leave them alone. Well, I got some white beans planted. I planted 2 groups of them. And I was thinking about the food forest, the older food forest. I was looking at the willows, and they're getting real shady. And I'm wanting to check the temperature, the ground temperature, and then check the outside, the temperature where it's just desert, and see how well the food forest is doing, because these little beans, that hot wind goes over them and it just dries them out. And I'm trying to block all the wind I can that comes into the food forest. And I'm just thinking this year I should really see a different degree, I hope. So sometime I'm going to check the temperature on that and just see what it is like now. The new food forest will be hotter because I don't have much shade over there yet, but I'm working on it. This is some celery I cut off the bottom when I was making stew from celery stalk, and I put it in water, and then it started growing up, but it didn't make roots. But once it got up a little bit, I put it in this dirt. Now it wants to be planted. It's a little hot in here in the sunroom, and if I take it outside, I think the birds will eat it. So it's just going to have to suffer a little bit longer. But I like it. I'm glad it grew. This is some sweet potatoes. When I dug them up last fall, I kept some of the roots that was out there, and that way I could eat on them a little bit through the winter. But I'm thinking about planting them as soon as frost is over and see what they'll do. They might not make, but they might. I just have to try it. I just got my corn planted, and I don't mark them because when the corn pops up, I know what it is. And this tray here, I got that from Lowe's. So keep your eye out on trays out back at Lowe's, and if you see them, ask them if they give them away. Some people do, some don't. But they usually have stacks of them, and they end up throwing them away anyway. So you might get somebody go, yeah, you can have all you want. That's what they done here. Lowe's was real good about it. This is some peppers I grew last year, and I'm going to bust these open. They're called Big Jim. New Mexico is good about growing these big peppers. These were mild, and I like the milder peppers. Some of them are hot, but I'm going to have to crack them open and check on the seeds on them. Big Jim. I'm going to grow some fennel, and I love it out in the food forest. It smells like licorice, and I don't mind that smell, but I don't like the taste too much. The reason I grow it is for butterflies. If you want to grow butterflies, grow fennel, because butterflies will come from this. They'll lay their eggs on it. And I'll see what we grow is black-tailed swallow butterflies. And when they're flying around, I think, oh, they just got hatched out, and they're in my food forest. And that's where they stay for a while. So I'm going to grow butterflies. I got some sweet potato slips growing, and some of these I need to pull off. Look at that. And plant them in a pot until I can get them out there. I just put this in here the other day, and it really started growing. And then I got this big one. I need to get it off, and it's really making some babies too. I might have even cut that one back a little bit. I don't like them get real long. Well, I'll have to take care of these, get them. Not that one, but that one and this one. Get it planted. And I appreciate y'all watching. Watch me plant my stuff. And I really do. Thank you a lot from Out West Homestead.